Well, with just over a quarter of the season gone already, some interesting developments taking place. Still a lot of soccer left to be played, though. Hello, everyone. I am Metafiction, and as I say, we're going to be seeing some very important matches taking place today. These matches early on in the season could easily shape the rest of the course of the season. First up, we'll have Capstad FC taking on Inter London. As we see Capstad with the 4-1-4-1. Forward there playing just a little bit to the left of center. While Inter London with their 4-2-4, Smart playing a more withdrawn role compared to Schweinsteiger in the middle. London on level points with North Shore after 4 matches, 9 points apiece. London with a slight edge on goal difference. Will be hoping to pull away a little bit from today's matches. And they do get us started going right to left in the white and black. Nuatu taking the touch past Ramos. Trying to pass back to Nunez, but I think that was Fantaben's who overstepped the pass. And then we'll try again on the other flank. Here's Lever. Pass from Williams forces a save out of Walrusman for an Inter London goal kick. And within 2 minutes, it's the first attacking set piece for London as Nunez floats it in, but it's ultimately easy to deal with. Lever trying to get it around Hunt, and Hunt nearly concedes the penalty there, but does manage to poke it behind. And Nunez will take another corner, this time from the opposite side of the pitch. Loaded in again. This time, Walrusson claims it easily. So it's London who have gotten the first chance, but certainly a lot of match still to be played. Both of these teams certainly capable of turning up and turning in a very good performance when the situation calls for it. Schweinsteiger out wide to Kimoatu, forced backwards by Wagner. Laurent having to send it all the way back to Elmas the Heretic. London finally finding an angle. Lever through ball to Berbatov, who gets the finish completely wrong. The timing on the run was good, but the finish needed to be much better than that. And ultimately, Walrusson not threatened there. A wasted opportunity for London. Smart now intercepting that pass from Hunt, but it's back to Capstad. Here's Wagner, and Devin Wagner breaks the deadlock. Well, it's a little bit against the run of play, but Capstad have the opener. Smart had gotten rid of the ball, but Cabral headed it down for Hunt, who threaded it through to Wagner, and great placement on the finish there from Wagner. It is Capstad 1, Inter London 0. Well, how will London pick themselves up from that? Gorgon intercepting the throw-in here and running up the near flank. Touch, though, too loose, and Smart able to get to it. London had the better XG prior to that strike. Will now try to dig themselves out of this hole as Berbatov's pass was off target, but it still ends up in London. Here is Kimoatu. Squares it to Jerry, and Jerry gets the equalizer. And they're back on level terms just before 30 minutes. This move developed fairly quickly. Schweinsteiger found Berbatov. Kimoatu took the touch to get into space. Baited Obranca to challenge, but really squared it to Jerry. And Jerry has the finishing chops, especially from a position like that, to really make it count. And so the score is 1-1. We are once again level in this match. Schweinsteiger's pass cut out, but one back. Trying to find Jerry, instead finds Smart. Smart has a go from distance, and no amount of curve would have put that back on target. That long-distance pass ends up intercepted by Gorgon in a very dangerous position, but the Heretic able to hold on to the shot. Heads-up play there from Gorgon, but the Heretic wise to the finish. Schweinsteiger to Lever. Lever on the near flank. Challenge comes in from Gorgon, but Williams still has it. Lever in. Jerry. And it went on for Berbatov, and Berbatov buried it. And after being a goal down, Inter London have surged back to take the lead here. Jerry brought down by Cabral in the box. Might have been grounds for a foul, but it fell to Berbatov anyway. And it is Kapstad 1, London 2. But Kapstad do have a corner here. Gorgon sending it in. And it's a shot by Ford. And it goes out for a corner. Another chance for Gorgon here. Whipped in off the bar. And it's another corner kick. That was a very near miss for Kapstad to level it again. 5 minutes to play before the half. And Kapstad are threatening. Tortellini back forward to Gorgon. Kimoatu with a strong challenge to break up that move. Long ball from the Heretic. It falls to Jerry. Jerry in a little bit of space. It squares for Lever. Lever shoots and wins a corner. Lever in a lot of space. Walrusson, though, able to tip it over the bar. Now Nunez fires the cross in. It's headed up. Lever has a go. Well, the half volley was not a terrible attempt, but not quite good enough. Seconds before halftime, and Ramos has intercepted a pass. Here's Ford for Kapstad. Can he level it? Wagner! And it's another tip save by the Heretic. Gorgon trying again from the corner. Low delivery. Falls to Tortellini. And that one ends up in the second tier. And that will be the half. Kapstad did take an early lead courtesy of a wonderful strike from Devin Wagner. But it's London who leads at the break, courtesy of goals from Jerry and Berbatov. Credit also to Kimoatu and Jeffrey Lever on the assists for those goals. Kapstad, currently down a goal at home, will be looking to try and restore dominance. But Inter London have had the bulk of the chances thus far, it would seem. Perhaps good value for this one-goal lead. Can they extend it? Time will tell as we have begun the second half. Kapstad with the ball in all green. As Kimoatu wins that ball off of Wagner, now comes forward, trying to find Jerry, but Obranca able to jump the pass. Not a lot to report so far in this second half. Walrusson sending in the long ball, headed down for Lever. London content to see this game out, it would seem, but they are pushing forward now. Here's Jerry. Hunt in pursuit. Jerry sends it back for Schweinsteiger, and that one blocked by Obranca. And Lever ruled offside, meaning a free kick for Kapstad. with 20 minutes to play, and so Capstead have won the ball here. Wagner finding Gorgon in some space, and a good diving save from the Heretic. Gorgon denied once again. Does have a corner, though. And Kimawatu taking no chances with that one. Add like 2% does get to it and surges past Jerry. Crosses in, but Smart able to deal with it. Berbatov diving in for the challenge, but to no avail. Hunt with it. Ramos back to Fantabins. Now Wagner with another chance from distance. This time sends it well over. Wagner perhaps hoping for another moment of excellence, but can't happen there. Here's Gorgon, though, in a lot of space, right at the edge of the end line, but the finish was too tight an angle. Capstad are finding chances here in the latter stages, but they can't make anything count. At least not yet, as here is Ramos. Hunt through the Fantabens. At like 2% crosses in, sent clear, and Jerry punting that one away. At like 2% gets around Williams. Cross comes in. Tried to find Fantabens, and the ball ricochets out for a corner. Just over 5 minutes before added time for Capstad. Gorgon with the corner. It's a low one. It's off the post. Ramos very nearly equalizing, but instead it only finds the woodwork and is now out for a throw by Ramos. Fantabins tried to send it into the box for a teammate, but nothing doing. Another chance for Capstad. Here is Gorgon. Corner comes in. It's in the air. Cabral can't get it. Can't get to it. Cabral again. Trying to shift play here at like 2%. Dispossessed by Williams. Or Lever, excuse me. Williams is the one who picks it up, and now here comes Jerry. Switching play now. But Kimawatu's header off target. Here's Tortellini. Capstad breaking here. Here's Fantabens, courtesy of Wagner. Through ball to Ford. Heretic with a save. Rebound cross. Heretic holds on. Gorgon nearly putting it back in for a teammate to finish off. But the veteran goalkeeper for London able to hold on. And it seems London indeed will hold on. Because there is the final whistle. And it means Inter London have survived on the road in Cape Town, South Africa. FC Capstad leading early through the goal from Devin Wagner, probably one of the goals of the season. But Jerry and Dimitar Berbatov combining to make sure that London walked out with the 3 points. Henry Fantabens is your player of the match for FC Capstad, but it's a hollow victory, as Capstad will not receive even a point for their efforts here today, despite really turning on the burners in the second half. They will come away empty-handed. So Capstad 1, Inter London 2 in our first match of the day. Next up, it is Athenai versus Seoul Mythic. Both of these teams with plenty of talent on their rosters. Athenai historically have been a little bit of the harder luck franchise of these two teams, but certainly the conventional wisdom seems to be that the tides are turning in Athens. It's a very unorthodox, I guess you could call that a 4-2-3-1 for Athenai. Seoul, meanwhile, with very their very narrow 3-2-1-3-1, I guess you could call that, seeming to eschew any form of wide player, this Seoul tactic. It is a bold strategy, but we'll have to see if it pays off long term. Kulashad Cross comes in, finds Corrigan. Neuer went up for the ball, but was beaten to the punch by Corrigan. And on 9 minutes, it's Athenai who draw first blood here today. Neuer going up for it and just missing the ball entirely. And Corrigan right behind to pounce. That is a prime example of being in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. Good instincts from Corrigan to make it 1-0 to Athenai FC. Now here is Duck. Camavinga forward to Corrigan. Then sending it up the flank for Duck. Now Corrigan again, the goal scorer. Coomer down. Crosses, and it's Fletcher Smallwood. And in the space of about 2 minutes, Athenai have roared out to an early lead. 2-0. This one courtesy of Tete Coomerdown and Fletcher Smallwood. Let's see this angle again. Replay shows Smallwood is indeed onside to receive the delivery from Coomerdown. And Athenai now lead by 2-0. And perhaps potential for more as Kerrigan sends in the corner kick. This time, though, headed out by the Stoll defense. Coomerdown with another cross. This time, Garfield deals with it. Kulashad. Coomerdown again. Trying to get around Ruma. Squares it. And it's Fletcher Smallwood again! Oh my goodness, Athenai making a real statement of intent here today. 3 goals within 15 minutes. And again, it's Coomerdown finding Smallwood in the center. Athenai came to play today. Here's Kulashad. Panda coming forward. Coomerdown again. Looking for the hat trick of assists. This time the shot blocked. Here's Camavinga. And Camavinga sends it over the bar. Well, it took about 6 minutes from the first goal to the third. And Athenai really pulling away early on, putting the boots to Seoul Mythic thus far in this match. Here's Duck. Aloisi trying to pressure, but Duck does get around. Corrigan. Duck crosses into the air. Panda heads down. Clueless shot! Well, it's a mythic performance here, but it's not because of Seoul. It's Athenai who are rewriting the history books today with a legendary performance. Not even 30 minutes into this match, it is 4-0 to Athenai. Now Corrigan with a free kick, looking for another one. Headed into the air, it finds Kulashad. Kulashad, though, losing out to Spoon. Now Seoul with a bit of a reprieve, as Garfield sends that one long. The reprieve now over. Here is Panda, dribbling into the center. Panda forces a save out of Manuel Neuer. Corrigan sends in another corner kick, and Neuer able to claim this one. And the extremely narrow setup for Seoul has not worked. as you can see by those player ratings. As here is Corrigan with another shot, and again blocked behind. But there will not be time to take the corner kick, and so we go into the half with Athenai holding a commanding 4-0 lead over Seoul Mythic. Seoul with not so much as a shot in this match thus far. Meanwhile, Athenai with 5 shots on target, 4 of them ending up in the back of the net. It's a clinical performance for the Greeks here today. Can they see it out? Or do Seoul have something up their sleeves? Dogwood Maple coming on for Baraka Aloisi for Seoul Mythic. Is that a change that will help, or are they simply rearranging deck chairs, so to speak? And what I was getting at there, you saw Kulashad and Kumardown among the highest rated players on the pitch in that first half. Seoul's extremely narrow focus not really benefiting them as of yet. Passing amongst themselves are Seoul. Here's Doug. Here's Sherwood. Through the middle for Seoul. Here's Paul. Paul trying to get past Still. Paul shoots and wins a corner kick for Seoul. Well, this would be a start to try to reclaim at least a little bit of ground here. Nagatoro Maradona finds Paul on the edge of the box. Kumardown gets to it, but Maple winning possession. Nagatoro Maradona's cross comes in, but Duke, called into action for the first time today, really, does eventually hold on to it. Garfield. And back to Doug. Here comes Nagatoro Maradona. Back in for Staines. Now here's Paul. An absolute grass cutter from Danny Paul. And is that a route back into this match for Seoul? It was a string of passes starting from Nagatoro Maradona and ultimately ending up in the back of the net courtesy of Danny Paul. 30 minutes to play. It is Athenai 4, Seoul 1. The task remains great, but it looks a little bit more achievable now. Here's Kulashad, sending the ball over the top, trying to find the run of an Athenai player, but nothing doing. The header battle falls to Still. Kulashad, Panda laying it off to Kumardown. Now with the cross, had Scott there, but ultimately beaten. Duck squares it. Scott getting back to it. Neuer able to get to that one fairly easily. Deep throw now for Seoul with 20 to play. Fight for the ball. Spoon wins out. Here's Danny Paul. Maple. Staines has a shot. It falls to Hawkins and another block. Athenai putting their bodies on the line to prevent another goal. And this time it will work. The move does fizzle out. Corrigan takes a touch past Sherwood, squares it, and rebuffed by the defense. Long shot from Panda. And it's another corner kick. Corrigan with the delivery, and Neuer holds onto it. Well, about 10 to play, and 3 goals seems fairly unachievable for Seoul at this point. Maple trying to play in Maradona, but Lind able to get to it first. Smallwood gets the touch from Panda. Now here's Kulishad. Corrigan to Smallwood, and that's his hat trick. Fletcher Smallwood, the hat trick hero for Athenai today. This time gets his delivery from Corrigan, a fellow goal scorer. And Smallwood will be getting the plaudits, but in truth, it's been a complete performance from Athenai today. That will make it 5-1 over Seoul Mythic with time winding down. Perhaps one final move here from Seoul, but they will run out of time. And Athenai will record a richly deserved 5-1 victory, thanks in large part to Nicholas Corrigan, Riamel Kulishad, and of course, the player of the match, Fletcher Smallwood, with 3 goals to his name. Special note also to Tay Kummerdown with 2 assists on the day. One of the main creators for Athenai all match long. Deserves a share of the plaudits as well. Danny Paul's goal, it was a fairly impressive goal, but it is also the only consolation for Seoul Mythic today. So a dominant victory from Athenai, 5-1, and how important will that be later in the season? We now move to France, where AS Paris will be hosting Montreal United in the Francophone Derby. AS Paris, of course, part of the União Sao Paulo AS Paris organization, who have fallen on hard times a little bit in previous seasons. They have reason to believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's a 4-4-2 for Paris, and Montreal, their counterparts, with a 4-2-4. Schwinn and Faulkner playing out wide for the Canadian outfit. Unaddressed last time before the last match, but London going briefly top by themselves as a result of their victory. Of course, North Shore still to play in today's matches in action later on against Cairo City. For the moment, though, it is Montreal who have gotten us started here. Suzuki, pressured by Van Dorn, and found Bierman in the middle, who unleashed a fairly impressive shot. Unfortunately, not impressive enough to get it on target. Norris now with a deep throw for Paris. And that was a long shot from Shalazi that almost found at least the crossbar, but in the end was far too high for the intent, really. Bierman forward. Suzuki finds 44, and Owen 44 does what Owen 44 does. And that is 1-0 to Montreal through a very well-placed pass from Mei Suzuki. And Owen 44 with an excellent finish past Pizanga Lualua. 44 timing the run absolutely perfectly. Mayhem caught in 2 minds, decides to challenge for the ball. And there's just too much space for 44. Borat now with the free kick sends it right into the wall. Borat tries again, this time finds the duck. That is Quackleval the duck, thank you very much. As Paris now working on the counter-attack. Here is Lund. And Lund brought down, very cynically I thought, by Bierman. Bierman will not be booked for that, though. .44 to Schmidt. Shilezi misses the challenge. Schmidt trying to square it, but Bierman out of position there. Bierman has a long shot, and it would have been a cracker of a goal, but Lua able to push it behind. Corner comes in, is headed up into the air, finds 44 on the edge of the box, and it takes a hefty deflection, but Lua able to get to it once again. Schmidt with another chance at this corner. This time headed back out to Schmidt. Here's 44, edge of the box, and can't keep it down. Schmidt in the box, 44, taking a touch. Here's Borat again. Bierman. Inclon wins the ball off Bierman, and now the break on for Paris. Challenged by Nolan, gets it out to Lund on the far flank. Lund pressured by Ken. Inclon shoots, and Inclon scores. Nicholas Inclon levels the match for AS Paris. And Montreal's one-goal advantage has vanished, thanks to a great shot from Inclon, sending it opposite post past Williams. AS Paris won, Montreal United won. As always with these two teams, it is an absolutely spicy one, even in the early stages. Buckle out of the duck, finding Victoria on the near flank, dribbling around Schmidt. Victoria crosses, and Quackleval the duck with a super effective strike from point-blank range. Well, Victoria making a great run around Schmidt here. Crosses it at the end line. Quackleval the duck, Aqua stepping into the perfect position to receive the low cross. And just like that, I have tipped my hand as a colossal nerd. But more importantly, it is AS Paris 2, Montreal United 1, within a minute of their last goal. Now Lund winning the ball away from Ken. Gets the foot in, but Shilezi puts it back up for Belmont. Belmont crosses at the end line. Headed clear. Van Dorn gets another one. And it'll go down as an own goal, courtesy of Sami Zerhouni. But AS Paris scoring 3 in 3 minutes. Well, it's a bit of a harsh own goal. Van Dorn's shot seemed to be headed on target regardless. But nevertheless, AS Paris absolutely bursting into life after going behind. Suzuki squares it to Bierman, now 44, and punched over by Lua. And this match would appear to not be over by a long shot, as the corner comes in and is headed clear by Claire Norris. Faulkner squares it, and very nearly avoided being another own goal by Van Dorn, who was able to get it out there safely. A phenomenal passage of play for AS Paris sees them comfortably ahead. 10 minutes to play until the half. Still time, though, for Montreal to do something, as here it might be, as Suzuki finds 44 again. 44 shoots it off target this time. Well, that exact combination was deadly for Montreal earlier in this match. This time, 44 can't get the finish right. Just a minute before halftime, and it's Schmidt with a corner for Montreal. Sent in, headed into the air, and Belmont sending it away. Nolan, though, getting to it for Montreal. Nolan. Past Lund. Trying to find Faulkner, but Norris gets a good challenge in. Sent all the way back out for Ken. Nolan, trying the long through ball, finds Faulkner. Borat to Schmidt, trying to find a little bit of space. Nolan thought he had it, but it was blocked. Kwakwal the Duck getting to it on the loose ball. And that is where we will leave it at halftime. AS Paris going down 1 goal early on, courtesy of Owen 44. But then a rapid sequence of events in the middle of the first half saw AS Paris burst into life. And they will lead at the break 3-1. And we have begun the second half. It is AS Paris who have gotten us started in the blue and white with red socks. Montreal in the white and teal kits. Montreal winning the ball and getting it back up the field quickly. Here's 44. Trying to get around Inclon. Tries to shoot far post. Lua gets down again. Lua, of course, known for some very clutch saves last season with Sao Paulo. Proving it again here. It's another corner for Montreal in short order. Sent in by Schmidt. Mayhem with a diving header to send it away. And Lua once again holding on to a long shot from Bierman. Montreal coming out with a vengeance here in this second half to try to even this deficit. Nolan's pass intercepted by Victoria, but Montreal winning it back before any damage can be done. Ball over the top. Van Doorn trying to clear it, but it does land with Schmidt still. Suzuki can't bring it into control, now does. And the 2-goal lead becomes a 1-goal lead, courtesy of Mei Suzuki. Had trouble bringing it under control, but eventually did. Was able to turn and had a perfect lane to slot that past Lua. AS Paris 3, Montreal United 2, with time left to go. Paris needing to tighten up and hold on to this lead, but Montreal really turning it on now. Mind you, it is a deep throw for Paris here. Norris around Nolan, edge of the box. Gillespie in for Lund, but not quite fast enough to beat Williams. Shaftwell. Now here's Faulkner. Faulkner with a switching of play to Borat. Finds Suzuki again. Borat again. Now here is Zerhuni, who did have that own goal in the first half. Bierman. Tripped up. Suzuki. Bierman again. Bierman looking for Ken there, making the run, but too much on the pass, and it goes out for a goal kick. Headed down, though. Here's Suzuki. Schmidt forced back. Montreal can taste the equalizer here. Just need to be patient in the build-up. Ken. Now here's Nolan. Montreal United passing laterally, still trying to find the advanced pass. Now does. Here's Schmidt trying to take it past Van Doorn. Bierman squares it to Suzuki, and Suzuki wins a corner. Just over 20 to play, and is a corner kick for Montreal, courtesy of Schmidt. Ball goes in and is ultimately immediately headed clear. Schmidt finding Faulkner. Here's Borat. Borat shoots, and that one is off target. A dominant passage of play in the second half thus far for Montreal United. But apart from the goal from Suzuki, no further end product. And with just under 15 minutes to play, it's running out of time. But here is Suzuki, and Suzuki is offside. Sahuni finds Nolan. Faulkner trying to find 44, but Mayhem intercepts the pass. Now in Klon. Lund with the long ball, but Belmont can't keep up with Shaftwell. A little bit of pressure, but Williams receives it safely. Borat. Through to Faulkner and back over to the far flank for Schmidt. Bierman. And a shot from Suzuki, but once again Suzuki offside. About 5 minutes to play, and Montreal needing to find something now. But it seems for all of their attempts and all of their XG, they will not be able to find the equalizer here. Still time for one last move, but Solesi intercepting that move, intercepting that pass. And now Paris trying to come forward to waste as much time as they can to see out this victory. Perhaps one final thrust here for Montreal. Suzuki, Nolan. Will they get up in the pit? Will they get up the pitch in time? Suzuki back to Nolan. Nolan for Faulkner trying to find 44, but can't do it. Headed back down for Bierman. Nolan. Schmidt. Last chance for Montreal. 44 can't get to it, and that's a goal kick. And that is the end of the match. Montreal United really turning it on, trying to find that equalizer, but just couldn't do it. And it is that span of 3 minutes in which Paris scored 3 goals that proved decisive here today. 0-44 opened the scoring, then 3 goals from Inclon, the Duck, and an own goal from Zerhouni. Suzuki tried to level the gap slightly, but it will be a 1-goal defeat for the visitors here today in this Francophone derby. Suzuki is player of the match with a goal and the assist on the goal from 0-44. But the story of the day is AS Paris holding on to beat a very talented Montreal United team, 3-2. And now we move to Egypt for our final match of the day, which sees Cairo City hosting North Shore United. North Shore, of course, the reigning minor division champions and are expected to seriously challenge for another title this time around. Cairo City have also done well so far this season, but face a very stiff test at home here today. It's the wide 4-4-2 diamond for Cairo City. Wide players Alturkis and Bushtit. North Shore with what appears to be a slightly withdrawn 4-2-3-1 off center. And you see North Shore United on 9 points, Cairo City on 7. And a match like this could be crucial to either team's title hopes. It is Cairo who gets started through Franco Torres. And they are going right to left in the yellow and brown. Wilhelmsdottir sends it long. It does fall to Super Hoops. Now here's Torres. Torres with a lot of space, but the finish not of the required standard. Here is a free kick from Al Turkis incoming, right at the edge of the arc on the edge of the box. Takes it short to Bushkit. Played the 1-2, but it was ultimately to no avail, and that pass cut out by Snooks. Now, North Shore streaming forward. Lopta. Maldonado. Lopta with the cross, finding Snooks. Now Neymarinho back to Snooks, and Victoria Snooks has opened the scoring for North Shore on 3 minutes. Well, it was a Cairo free kick that started this move, but it was a North Shore who broke very quickly up the pitch and ended up scoring on the counterattack. A great pass in from Santos Neymarinho, and it was academic for Snooks there. Cairo will have to recover from that early blow. Ball falls for Lee, and it hits the crossbar, they're ruling, and it will be a goal kick. It did seem as though the goalkeeper had it covered. Armaros now sends in the cross for North Shore. Does fall to Rashford. And Yore sending it backward all the way to Spacchiero. Gerard and Jero playing it amongst themselves in the back. Ultimately does find Snooks, who does send it back into Jero. Patient build up this from North Shore. Now they spring the trap. Here is Yore. Lopta back to Yore. And Lee getting a foot in to defend for the corner kick. Lopta finding Neymarinho at the edge of the box. And it's a corner kick on the other side this time. And this time it is Snooks on the delivery. And they have found Lopta there on the edge of the box. A lot of space. Opts to send it back to Snooks. And a diving challenge from Lee will break up the move. North Shore continuing to pile on pressure. Here's Rashford. Sending it back to Jero. Lopta switching play to the other flank, but Neymarinho in the wrong place. Or perhaps Superhoops in the right place. Long ball, Hayden trying to square it to Al Turkis, but it's back for North Shore. Here's Lopta from a tight angle. Gets the ball back. Challenge from Hayden, but it falls back to Snooks. Now here's Lopta again. Maldonado. Just over the bar. And North Shore absolutely imposing their will on this match early on, as they are wont to do. This cross headed down. It's another long ball for North Shore. Lopta chests it down. Squared by Yore. Lopta in. And Lopta ruled offside. And it's another corner for North Shore here. And that one does go over the bar. Rube seemed to have a hand to it in case it did get on target, but in the end, unnecessary. North Shore with 9 shots on target thus far. Or 9 shots thus far, but only 2 on target. A surprisingly wasteful performance from North Shore thus far, but they do have a goal advantage. Al Turkis' pass cut out immediately by Maldonado. Hayden with a diving challenge, but it falls to Snooks anyway. Maldonado has a go, and Rube able to dive in front of that one. Long ball from Rube. Hayden getting possession of it. Now here's Super Hoops on the overlap. Squares it. And Caleb Hayden might have just equalized. No, he hasn't. Caleb Hayden is ruled offside. That equalizer will not stand. Alturkis' free kick. Not far over, but over nonetheless. Snooks comes forward for North Shore United. Pushed it in pursuit, does block the cross. Poor kick from Rube. Yure. Lopta. Maldonado with another shot off target. As we near halftime, it is North Shore with 12 shots, but again, only 2 on target. The end product a little bit lacking today for North Shore. So while they do still have the lead, it could be a little bit more. But here is Rashford. Rashford's shot was over and ruled offside regardless. Another chance for North Shore before the break here. Yore. Now Snooks. Neymariño. Pushed it with the challenge, and the challenge is ruled a penalty. Well, Rashford will take this penalty. And Dobby Rube saves it. Well, Dobby Rube, notorious for having a penalty save in him. And it's another one here as Cairo City remains just 1 goal behind North Shore at the half. That shot from the penalty, only North Shore's 3rd on target of the match out of 14 total. Meanwhile, Cairo City with 4 shots, none of them on goal yet. North Shore will need to find a cutting edge if they're to pull away in this one. Or can Cairo City take advantage of what is frankly a bit of a gift in North Shore's substandard finishing today? Alturkis has a shot from the free kick. Goes out for a corner. Super Hoops sends it in. It's ultimately sent clear. Cairo City will know and will have discussed at halftime. The game is there to be won if they can just get a shot on target, perhaps. Armaros, though. Neymariño, and it clatters off of a Cairo defender and behind for a corner kick, excuse me. Crossed in and headed over the bar. Goal kick incoming from von Bismarck. Yore through to Casual, but Casual can't make the run. Lee, now Alturkis. Lee bringing it forward, does find Hayden. Bushtit's touch just a little too heavy, and Snooks winning the ball there. Yore, quick pass to Casual. Now Snooks. Snooks under threat, but does find Neymariño. Neymariño had teammates in the center, but went himself. And Dobby Rube holds on to it. Free kick from Alturkis. It's straight into the wall. Does win a throw-in. Corner kick for Super Hoops. Floats it into the box. Sent clear by Armaros, Wilhelm's daughter. Alturkis wasn't far off with that one. Just skimmed past the post. Ball forward does not find Torres. Gero sending it to Gerard. The ball worked quickly up the near flank. Casual gets away from Bushtit for the moment. Super Hoops pressuring Casual. He gets it away to Snooks. Neymarinho passes to Maldonado, but that one off target. Yannick Visser trying to cross in, gets the ball back. Lee forward to Yun. Jia Yun has leveled it for Cairo. Have North Shore been made to pay for their wastefulness? Cairo City, very much against the run of play, it has to be said, have nicked an equalizer here. Jia Yun taking a touch, getting into an advantageous position to bury that chance. Cairo City won, North Shore won, and it's a deep throw for Cairo City, but Casual able to intercept. Was this a wake-up call for North Shore as Super Hoops intercepts that pass? Rube forward now to Lee. Long pass, trying to find Alturkis, but it's Maldonado who intercepts. Rashford to Lopta. Lopta through ball. Dangerous challenge, and Santos Neymarinho puts North Shore back in the lead with just about 10 minutes to play. It was a risky pass from Anthony Lee in central defensive midfield. North Shore making him pay for it with the interception. A very quickly worked goal. North Shore taking Cairo City by surprise. And once again find themselves up by a goal in the late stages. And now this one comes back the other way as well. Here's Snooks trying to get around Super Hoops, who does get the challenge in. But here's Maldonado. Another challenge by Visser. Cairo finally dealing with it. Now laying off. Yun brought down by Gerard. Strong challenge. Torres in space, but loses out. Here's Hayden. Hayden shoots and shoots wide. Corner kick for Cairo, though. Still with time to find another equalizer. Super Hoops sends in the cross. Headed into the air. Laid down for Torres. And Torres off target. Five minutes left. Cairo looking for another equalizer. Armaros. Hayden gets in to block it. And that will go out for a throw-in. Time running out for Cairo. And it doesn't look like they'll be able to equalize again. It was a valiant effort to level the scores courtesy of Jia Yun. But unless something happens in the next 45 seconds or so, they will be defeated here at home by North Shore. Jia Yun trying to find Hayden, but cut out by North Shore. Now here's Casual. Lopta trying to find Rashford. Would have been the insurance, but Rube holds on. Rube taking a lot of time here. Wilhelm's daughter back to Rube. Long ball, but it doesn't matter. North Shore with a professional victory after looking a little bit wasteful in the first half. We're finally able to pull away for good. It was Victoria Snooks who got North Shore off to a quick start in the 3rd minute. But after that, a lot of missed chances, including a penalty save, and the equalizer from Jia Yun seemed to have secured a point for Cairo City late on. But it was an excellent strike by the player of the match, Santos Neymarinho, who put North Shore back in front for good. And there you have it. Cairo City defeated at home by North Shore 2-1. in our final match of the day. Before we leave you today, let's look one more time at the results and the standings. Now, Inter London with the 2-1 victory over FC Kapstad. Athenai, statement of intent victory with a 5-1 win over Seoul. AS Paris scoring 3 goals in 3 minutes to prevail over Montreal United, 3 goals to 2. And we just saw North Shore visiting Cairo City and coming out victorious, 2 goals to 1. London and North Shore remain tied at the top of the standings, with Capstad on 8 points behind them. Well, that'll do it for us here at the SSL. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Until next time, this has been Metafiction. Take care.